And Goa being a place of particular interest since it was a colony and since it does have a whole lot of buildings and architecture left by the Dutch and the colonial period. Did you, I mean, most of your work in that sense doesn't really reflect that. So, did you have some ideologies of, whether on the one hand you were involved with heritage and conservation? So were there elements of this kind of architecture that was there? Did something inspire you to maybe try and look at certain details or certain aspects which in indirect ways?
No, in that way, my the buildings in which that was local building work, those who came to me. But then I used this to formulate whatever the thing is. And they would enable others to watch it. There, the person who was written about that was from Delhi. He had written that about what I had done, that what he built for things.
We were quite appalled when the Konkan Railway, which was going into the hinterland of Goa, along the hills, at the edge, suddenly they decided to realign it and bring it into the area that was coming into the area that was most populated, which is the area of Bardez in the north and Salset in the south. So, when we heard that the railway, a new railway, was going to come this way, passing Old Goa and going into Bardez, and these were the most developed and the most populated areas of Goa. And we said, why bring in something more here? It should be, the hinterland was supposed to be where the railway was going, because that needed development. There was no development there. It was all cutting through forests and there were mines and various things like that.
Having said that, you still obviously felt the need of continually striving in your own work to create a kind of an architecture that you thought was befitting of a place like Goa. So maybe we can touch on I don't know, do you have some count on how many projects have been done in his lifespan in Goa? Like 100, I don't know.
I really don't know. If you count all the projects done at Agnel Ashram itself, because they're all at different periods of time.
Correct.
There are so many there.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the number of houses he's done scattered.
Yeah. No, so I'm just generally, so I'm sure there's been lots. So now,
quite a lot.
Supposing if we were to take...
basically, his most important work was always institutional. Like schools, colleges.
How did you go about your designing? I mean, were there certain fundamentals that you followed? Is something that would be nice if you could elaborate on. Certain philosophies that may have been constant between projects.
There is no such kind of philosophy which in my work, I never tried to elaborate why it was done that way. I did things instinctively. I did not try to do something which showed what I am and all. I just did instinctively. And to some, especially the building, things might have changed while making it. I might have got a better idea or something. But nothing further than that.